What's up, Buckeye Nation? You want to join us for a drink? I could use a nice stiff whiskey right now.
If I ever drank, I don't drink, but if I ever drank, this would be the day. I'm
I don't.
being
I
honest
don't. I'm
here.
just laughing because who cares at this point? I mean, we're. You know what? This is going to be called overreacting. We're emotionally into it right now. Ohio State just lost 40. Was it 45-23? Who cares at this point? At home. Jim Knowles, Ryan Day both got skunked on their both sides of the ball got skunked on their home field. They looked terrible. Beyond looking terrible, they looked undisciplined. How many goofy mistakes they can make. Shane, you better stop me because I'm going to keep going. Um, I
Yeah,
am. I'm sorry, but you want to hear something, Buckeye Nation? You can get mad at me for this. You can hate me for this. Ryan Day ain't it, whether you like it or not.
yeah. Listen, guys. Sound off in the comments. Let us know what you guys think of the game. I mean, obviously, I think we're all pretty much frustrated with the same points. But Corey, looking at that game, the first half, I felt like we had a good game plan, solid game plan. But there were still some points in the first half where I thought we left points on the board. We played undisciplined, especially near the
Yeah,
end of the first half. Um, you know, it was interesting. We knew their running back. We knew Corum was going to be hurt. We weren't sure how long he was going to play. He literally played. It's almost exactly what you had said last week on our
Zach
show.
Charbonnet. Yep.
It was just like he was going to come in for a possession or whatever and then be done. And he was out quick. And our this is what's frustrating is like I was always worried about the matchup with Michigan. Everyone said don't be worried about that, and I was worried because their matchup versus our matchup is tough. But I never thought they were going to air it out. I did not think JJ McCarthy was going to throw bombs on us and drop bombs on us. But I guess it's fitting because this year, what has happened? Our secondary just sucks. It is what it is. They're trash, and he just torched us. The fact that we just got torched by JJ like I don't even know what to
He
say to
hasn't
that.
torched anybody all year. I mean, we
Nope.
just made him look like he's the best quarterback in college football.
Made him look like a Heisman candidate, man, and that is bad. I mean, and his receivers at times were wide open. I mean,
Yep.
I'm talking wide open. And there was some, let's talk about this, Corey. Let's talk about some of the. We can get into play calling in a second, but I want to talk about missed opportunities.
Man,
Okay,
where do you even start with all the
yeah,
crap?
that's what I'm trying to compartmentalize it. First half, missed opportunities. Like, man, I don't know. I thought CJ had a solid first half. A couple of throws he probably wants back, but there were a couple of times too where I thought like,
Can I just go ahead? Can I go ahead and
ahead.
say this? CJ Stroud is Ohio State's version of Russell Westbrook. He puts up some stats. He can't win. I don't know what to tell you. I was talking to Kyle Lamb before this game. I said, "Who's the best quarterback ever, Haskins or Stroud?" He said Stroud. I'm like, I'm sorry, Haskins is way better than Stroud, whether you like it or not. I don't want to keep picking on him, but he puts up numbers, doesn't win.
Yeah, I can't blame him for today because I thought they
Oh,
didn't
I
put him in a
can.
position. I didn't think they put him in a position to do anything today. They were throwing it laterally like JT Barrett style. It's like, why are we going lateral every
Oh, the
play?
screen passes were dumb. I agree. Especially
It
when
worked.
Chip was running the ball well. Yeah.
It worked, but for a certain period of time, well, then you can't. You've got to like, dude. We have the best receivers in college football. Pick them apart across the middle of the field. It did seem like Stroud was getting a little hesitant with their coverage on us, and that's what it got me wondering. Like, were our receivers really all that good this year, or do we play some mediocre defensive?
Well, they were
secondary?
bracketing, obviously, but at the same time, I felt like we had the ability to run the ball on them. We just refused to commit to it. I mean, Chip Trayanum was a nice surprise. Comes in the first half, 8 carries for 64 yards, and what are we doing on 3rd and 4? We're throwing bubble screens. It's like, come on, Ryan. This is a panic game where Ryan pissed down his leg because he gets this system. He's like, I got to throw the ball. I got to throw the ball. He gets so stubborn about the run game. He's admitted this that he just tries to throw himself out of the problems, and this doesn't work. Especially when the run game's working. I wish to God he could open his eyes sometimes. And we said this a million times and just say, hey, run game's working. Stick with it. Kevin, Justin, stick with the run game. Nope. We got CJ Stroud and receivers. We're going to throw our way out of this. And quite frankly, I think our route tree is a little smaller than it has been in recent years because I'm seeing a lot of the same kind of routes constantly getting, and Michigan safeties were biting on them because they were there.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. I think the offense was dumbed down a little bit this year or something because it just seemed like we weren't, maybe with not JSN, the experienced receiver, not having him, maybe that caused us to change some things. But I'm just like, come on, guys, this is game 12.
Yeah, game 12. And here's the deal. We've been at home almost the entire season. I've talked about this before on the show. Like,
Yep.
we have played at home more than you'll ever see Ohio State play at home. If any year was the year for us to actually do something, it was this year. We were going to play Michigan at home, first time since 18. We've been at home all year long. We got the benefit of being at home. Our non-conference schedule was all at home. Like, we had a pretty easy route to get to the college football playoff. And we not only did we just got obliterated in the second half. I still had hope for us, though. Here's where I thought, here's the thing. You have to have balls of steel as a coach, right? You've got to have balls of steel. And when we had that 1st and 35 after a stupid penalty, 2 penalties at once, undisciplined penalty, like an undisciplined.
I was so glad they benched G. Scott. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Did he just do that?
That was such a stupid penalty, because I will give Stroud credit, right? We pitch it on first down. Then he throws 13 yards on the second play. And then he gets another, 12 yards or something?
Yeah,
12,
we were down to 4th and 6.
And we decide to punt. I'm like, no, dude, you have got to go for it at that point. Now, I was pissed that we were 1st and 35.
I'll give CJ credit. I'd rip it on, but he was saying you could leave the punt team off the field. He was trying to get right.
Those are big time plays and big time moments that you have to be able to put, because your defense was getting torched anyway. So just go after it and see if you can stop, because what's it going to hurt? You know what I mean? Play the numbers game. You got to go for it. I felt like Ryan Day didn't have his balls.
Felt like our offense had a little momentum even after 1st and 35, even after stupid penalty by G. Scott. I mean, look, Donovan Jackson gets called for holding on a big play. Whatever, it happens. Sometimes you lose containment of a guy and you grab on. For G to do that was like, are you brain dead? Are you a moron? I mean, I get somebody's going to get mad at me for that, but I don't care. You can't tell me that was a good thing. I'm sure he's feeling, Cory, he's feeling just as bad about it. That's great. I'm a fan who's ranting. Just get over it.
Very frustrating. I thought the play calling, I want to know what you guys think too. Buckeye Nation, let us know something in the comments about the play calling. 4th and 2 in the beginning of the game. I was glad we went for it, but we threw it to Stover. It just felt like our receivers couldn't get separation for 1. 2, I thought we could run the ball. Like, we were doing fine.
We were running the ball.
It's just like, man,
what are you doing?
I wasn't happy with the play calling, and it was like consistent throughout the entire game. And it was literally the commentators kept saying it. Felt just like last year. Like, that second half was just like boom, boom, boom. And we still, as bad as the score looks, 45-23, we still had a shot down by 8 at the end of that game. And because we ended up having to go for a field goal because Stover got it in his hands and the dude makes a good play, knocks it out. And the very first play, they take it, 75 yards to the house or whatever it was. Yeah. It's like, guys, this is bad football. Bad football. Here's the interesting thing, Cory. Like, I'm very upset, but talking about it kind of gets me over it, because like, it's such an anxiety-ridden game. We don't match up well with Michigan, period. We just don't. However, it doesn't mean we're not a good team. It doesn't mean we couldn't win a national championship, because every team matches up differently. I bet Michigan goes into the college football playoff and gets absolutely smacked, because they just don't match up well with certain teams. They match up well with us, but we also match up better against Georgia than some teams probably match up with Georgia. Do you think we make college football playoff still?
No. That's over with. Forget it. If we would have kept it close, maybe, but we just got obliterated and looked stupid and looked terrible. And no, it's over. We're going to the Rose Bowl or whatever bowl. I don't give a crap. You send them to whatever bowl you want. I'm not watching at this point. I will watch it because it's a month down the road. I'll get over it. But right now, like I'm saying right now, I'm pissed off. I'm just pissed off. It's not even that we lost. Yeah, I hate losing. It's the way we lost. Like, you got your butt handed to you after you talk all year. Brian Hartline's in the skull session. We've been waiting 365 for this. They've been talking nuts. I'm tired of them. We're disrespecting. Well, you just got beat worse than last year, okay? In your home field. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear tough talk anymore. I don't want to hear it anymore. We prepare all year for this game. Shut up.
Yeah.
God, I'm sorry. I'm just pissed. Because it's again, losing is one thing. Stupid penalty after stupid penalty. A defender, the defensive back who can't turn his head around, keep running into the receiver. What do you think's going to happen?
And the reason they're doing that is because they're getting burned. Every time they're getting burned. That 3rd and 11 to the goal line was such a big play. That's another big play, guys. Like,
you hold them to a field goal, it's a 1-score game. You get the ball back.
Exactly. It's such a big play. And the reason he was burned. He was burned somehow in the goal line. He is burned in the back of the end zone on the far side of the field. So McCarthy just throws it up there and lets him have a play at it. And it's like, dude, get your head back. Like, they are so bad. Those defensive backs are so bad at football. And they have been all year. And we've been trying to give them a little bit of grace because they've made up for it. And it's very hard to play solid football every single week. Like, you can't have very few teams are polished all the way around. In fact, nobody in the entire college football landscape is polished all the way around. So we get it. Everybody has weak spots. Our secondary got absolutely torched and completely, like, if they were to make it to a big game, everyone's just going to throw on them all day long. Crossing patterns, everything. They're so confused. They have no idea where they're at.
We sold out to stop the run, went one-on-one with the receivers. Cam Martinez, I think it was, just lost in fairy world, wherever he was, when Cornelius Johnson just, scooped him out, or, juked him out of his feet. And, I mean, like you said, McCarthy just had to throw it up for people, and they were just wide open. It was just goofy. Open. And I'm sorry, Jim, I love you. I love Jim Knowles. I do. I'm a huge fan of Jim Knowles. I'm not going to say fire him over one game, even though I just said that about Ryan Day. I didn't say fire Ryan Day. I'm just saying he ain't it. They're not going to fire him. But Jim, you got skunked horribly today. You got outcoached. You got skunked. You sold out to stop the run. I get it, because that's Michigan's MO. But you can't forget that McCarthy does have an arm. I mean, you can't forget they have speed on the outside. You can't just forget that. You mean it's, I don't know. There's got to be some changes, obviously, because within the program, how's they. I'm wondering, Shane, here, you go ahead and you correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe this whole we game plan all year crap is making our team too uptight and tense, and they make stupid errors in this game.
Well, it never was that way until just the last 2 seasons, right? It was never that way.
Meyer claims he did it too. Dressel claims he did it, but again, John Cooper.
But I'm saying them being uptight. They haven't been uptight until the last 2. Like, this was the last 2 years.
Oh, I got you.
Because Ohio State knew they were outmatched. We know that we're outmatched. I don't care what any Buckeyes.
That's the thing. I don't think they were outmatched today.
Defensively, we were on the defensive front. We were outmatched. We couldn't tackle. That's the same mistakes we made all year.
We were stuffing the run the entire game. I mean, until like the late in the game. I mean,
but we couldn't make tackles on the outside. The first touchdown to Cornelius was a missed tackle. It's the stuff that we've been doing all season. It's the lack of discipline. So that's the thing, is like, that's why I told you I was nervous about this game because of matchups. I'm like, dude, I think we can hold our front. Like, our front line was pissed. They were going to hold their own. Did we get much pressure on the quarterback though? No.
Yeah, we went blitz. We got a lot of pressure. We got a lot of pressure. We couldn't get him down. We just couldn't get him down.
We had no interior pressure though.
Interior pressure, I agree, was lacking. My issue was also we just kept pinning our ears back on the ends and just kept going and losing containment. I'm thinking, I get we're not getting the best push in the world, but there's nobody behind them to catch in the gap. I'm like, he's just going out between the tackle and guard. He's got a free view of the field. He could run if he wants. Unlike our quarterback, their quarterback will actually run the dang ball.
Oh man, don't even get me started there. And like, there was a pass to Buka on, I think it was second down in the goal line right at the very end of the game. They were trying to make a run at it, and he could have just tucked it and ran and gotten at least 7 yards out of it. But he throws it, and it was incomplete. And the very next play was an interception because he tried to make something happen. Now, I don't blame him for trying to make something happen. I really don't. I'm not going to blame him for that. I think it sucked. It was a terrible play, but he's trying to make something happen because he was going to go down.
He's Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry, he just is. I mean, maybe Russell Westbrook has had some amazing games where his team loses. I mean, it's just. I mean, CJ has numbers. He just doesn't win. I mean,
yeah. It's tough. I can't blame that game on CJ though. I'm
not blaming him for the game. You gotta understand. I'm not saying that he even played a bad game necessarily. I'm just saying he's not a guy who's going to take over a game and win it for you. I thought he made one consequential throw all game long to Emeka Egbuka in the seam. Sorry, I'm puffing into the microphone. Where it was a brilliant throw, brilliantly placed throw. But really, I mean, how many times does he just go get it done? I mean, and by the way, Ryan Day's play calling in the red zone might be the worst in the nation.
Yeah.
Every single time we're running it on second down is so painfully obvious after a failed bubble screen or after a failed slant or whatever, maybe a fade pattern. Oh, run it up the middle. What? It's like, I just can't believe Ryan Day, for as good a play caller as he usually is, can't figure it out in the red zone.
It's against Michigan where he fumbles it up a lot. He doesn't know his play calling. And what's interesting is Day. What I always used to love about him was his second half adjustments. I thought he was notorious for making second half adjustments. And against Michigan, for some reason, man, he gets the yips, man. The whole team does.
Like I said, he pissed down his leg today. Whether you like, I mean, whether people like that or not, I don't care. You want to hate me for that? Fine. Call me a bad fan? Fine. I'm a Buckeye for the rest of my life. That's a fact. I'm never going to not be a Buckeye. But right now, I'm just pissed off.
Yeah.
And Ryan Day, right now, I'm sorry, but John Cooper lost the series. Jim Tressel took it back. Urban Meyer enhanced it. And then you've given it right back to Michigan. So you're John Cooper right now, Ryan. I'm sorry. It's what you are.
Yeah, that's going to have to – I mean, and here's the situation for us in the future, Corey. Michigan's going to be good. They're going to be favored next year
Yeah.
again, too. They're young, and we're going to be having question marks at the quarterback position. So we better figure it out. Now, here's the positive. I'm trying to find a silver lining in this whole situation. Jimmy
Good luck.
Knowles comes in. This is not his recruiting class. He's trying
No.
to piece things together with who was there before. It doesn't work that way. That's what I was worried about. Like first year, you never see that. It's usually the second, maybe the third year, usually, where you're going to start seeing the recruiting class that the coordinator comes in with, whether that's offense, defense, whatever, and they start to actually put things in place. You have to be patient with that, though. This year, we were all excited because we got this false hope. We're like, oh, man, it's already being implemented. Like that. Yeah, but they're still the same players who make the same mistakes because that's just who they are. Unfortunately, they have weaknesses in their game. That's where I'm actually excited about seeing where Jim Knowles goes as far as his recruiting class, get more guys in there, getting some dudes. But, I mean, I'm worried about our quarterback play. We'll see who's at quarterback next year. But we'll have a defense that'll be his recruiting class at least next year or the year after. But next year might be tough. Michigan might have an edge on us again. Plus, it's in Ann Arbor.
Oh, they'll be favored next year, and they should, because they should. There's no reason they shouldn't be favored next year. I mean, JJ will be in his his junior year. Donovan Edwards, will be there. I mean, Blake Corum's still got another year. I mean, it's like
Colston Loveland's coming in. That's an Idaho boy right there, by the way. Colston Loveland. Here's the deal. I love Colston because he's from Idaho, but he plays for Michigan. Gets a touchdown today on a freaking wide open pass, right? For just complete busted coverage. That kid is from a 3A school here in Idaho. 3A. We have 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, and 5A. We make fun of the small schools here in Idaho, right? They're farm boys, and it's a very small school. It's not the big schools. And he's out there torching Ohio State. And I'm like, yeah, see, you know what? I don't like that. Like when our Buckeyes, and I love Colston because I've been covering him for a couple of years. This is freshman year. But man, oh man, when you're getting burned by a 3A school kid, like that's tough. That shows you guys there's some work to be done.
Our secondary just bit on everything today. Everything.
They didn't trust McCarthy's arm, and that's okay because he hadn't proven himself all season. But after he makes one throw, like they make one pass, maybe it's time to start, figuring it out a little bit, right? Stop biting, start trusting a little bit more in his arm because he knew it. He's like, okay, well, they're going to give me this. I'm going to start letting it fly. And he did. Good for him. I wish we had somebody that had the nuts like he did, to let it fly, drop your nuts and go. And we'll see. It's a bad game, bad taste in the mouth of all the Buckeyes that are on the team. Everybody who's there, who knows?
I wonder how many subscribers we're going to lose from my ranting today.
Well, dude, we just want to hear from all the fans. It's part of the whole game. So let us know what you guys think. I mean, heck, at the end of the night tonight, Notre Dame has a good chance of beating USC. If they do, then I mean, it's a conversation about Ohio State or Alabama potentially getting into and let's say TCU lost the Big 12 championship, Ohio State's in the college football playoff, and that's a very big possibility. Yeah, we are. There's no one else that can do it. If TCU, I'm not trying to say that we deserve it. I'm just saying
they'll put a 2-loss Bama in before they put us in. You watch.
Well, if TCU lost and so did USC, then they had to put two of us in. I mean, that's just and all those things are possibilities. Clemson lost to South Carolina, so it's like anything can happen on rivalry week. We'll see what happens.
Man, do you think Dabo seat's getting a little hot, a little warm down there?
I do. I think that's another one right there because this season wasn't a terrible season for them. They finished 10-2 now after that 1-point loss to South Carolina, but
that's not terrible, but it's not Clemson's standard, not the standard he set. So,
no, it's not, but it's not Ohio State's standard that we set either.
But again, 11-1 is technically a really great year, but you lose to Michigan by 20 at home. It don't really matter about those previous 11.
Oh, gosh, I know you're not wrong, dude. It's almost like the whole season just gets flustered out right there. Zach Smith did say, though, on Twitter, which I know you're not on right now, he did say there will be a rematch in the college football playoff with Ohio State and Michigan. Now, I think that was right before they scored their last touchdown and blew it out to 45 points. It was literally that's exactly what he said right before they scored their last touchdown.
I don't even want to be wrong. I don't even want them near the playoff.
I don't think so either. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to defend them. I don't think.
I know you're not. I know.
I don't think Ohio State deserves it when you get blasted by that. But you can't take away an entire good season off of one bad game. But it is hard to get over that. Nothing would be better, in my opinion, than a rematch in the college football playoff.
What? So they get beat by 30 on a neutral site?
If that was the case, that would suck. But if we got a revenge game, then we could really see what happens. You know what I mean? So
I'm at a point now where it's like, go play whatever West team comes out of that goofy side of the conference, and Michigan, go win your Big Ten for 2 years in a row. And Harbaugh's the king of the Big Ten right now, and he earned it. Michigan fans can come on here and say I'm crying. I'm not crying. Y'all kicked our bleep. I'm sorry. I'm trying to help Johnny out. I know he didn't like cursing. Kicked our bleep. You earned it. Jim Harbaugh owns Ryan Day right now. It's a fact, whether you guys like it or not. Buckeye Nation, you don't want to hear it? Tough. It's true.
Very true. Very true. Very tough game. and it's a tough reality for us to set in with. I'm pissed about it. I'm not gonna lie, very upset. But
I'm okay with reality. I'm just not okay with the way where we play stupid in these games. I'm really not okay with it.
very, very bad football. Very bad football. So we'll see what comes of it, man. Buckeye Nation, let us know what you guys think. We're gonna wrap it up right now. We'll see what comes of it in the next week or two, with everything that needs to pan itself out. Let the dust settle, and we got to soak in with this one. But we want you guys to rant with us. So feel free to leave some comments here.
Oh, say whatever you want. Obviously,
yeah,
I
let
do.
them fly. Let the comments fly.
So I mean, I can't wait to hear people you down in our kids. I'm like, they played like crap today. I'm sure they're all wonderful people. I have no issues with them as people. I want them all to lead peaceful, fun, successful lives. But they were crap today in the football field.
They got beat. They got beat.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, man.
There you go.
Send us away, buddy.
Okay, I'll send us away,
you
guys. We appreciate everybody's support so far this season. Thank you guys for tuning into the channel. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button. But as always, God bless and go Bucks.